And from a cognitive perspective, we call that getting ready for transfer, which is as soon as I recognize what I've done and how it's worked for me, I am more likely to transfer it to a new situation when someone isn't reminding me. Now, don't forget, you want to use the habits because something inside my head will start to say, you know, it worked last time when we talked about that, and it probably will work this time as well. And I think we as adults have that little talk in our head all the time. I don't know about you, but certainly I know if I've been to a meeting and I didn't manage my impulsivity because I was eager to say something and I thought I'd like to be heard. And so I jumped in. I didn't mean to, but I did. But driving home after the meeting, I say to myself, you know, that wasn't right. You didn't really manage your impulsivity and you didn't give a chance to somebody else to say what they were going to say. So that wasn't a good thing. What can you do next time to sort of remind yourself that this is something that you don't want to do next time? What strategy can you use so that you can have the talk inside your head? And the talk inside your head is positive talk. It's not negative. It's not telling you, you were bad. You didn't manage your impulsivity. It was, what can you do next time that would help you to kind of remember that this is something that you want to do? Maybe when you start to feel that emotional kind of impulse coming up, you say, I think I'm going to try to count to 10 before I say anything. For me, counting to 10 sometimes feels like an eternity. And it's enough for me to just kind of step back and then say, okay, I get it. I don't need to say this right now. I can wait.
Yes.
And so what Ben is suggesting also is then that as a result of self-reflection, you take charge of yourself. You're in control of yourself a lot more. And that's one of our great goals, is to get you to become more, get students to become more conscious of their own behavior and to apply it where necessary, but to take charge of themselves. Self-discipline, if you want to call it that, so that when they are in other confusing situations, they say, okay, I know a situation like this. I know how to wait. I know how to ask a question. And it gives them confidence. And I guess that's what we're all about, is creating a sense of confidence and optimism on the part of the students so that I know what to do when I don't know what to do. And there's where the confidence comes in. I have a greater repertoire of problem-solving strategies because of the habits of mind. I have a larger repertoire of response behaviors because what I've learned in the habits of mind, and I can apply them beyond the situation in which they were learned. So I learned them in school, but I'm applying them in life, in work, in my social situation, at play, and so that the habits of mind then guide them and follow students throughout their lifetime. That's our intention.
Thank you. Then can we say a habit is like a cable? I mean, we make it stronger by practicing each time. Can we say that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a habit takes practice. It doesn't become a habit until you practice.
That's right. And the interesting thing about habits of mind, though, is that you never master them. I am 91 years old, and I will confess that I still respond impulsively to some situations. You never do that, but I will admit that I do. And so I'm getting better. And over 91 years, I know how to ask better questions, I think. I know when it's appropriate to ask questions. I think I've become much more metacognitive, more aware of myself, but I'm still learning and I'm still trying and I'm still building my self-awareness and consciously trying to get better at the habits of mind. We never stop learning. It's never mastered.
Which leads us to a habit we hadn't mentioned yet, which is called remaining open to continuous learning. And we firmly believe that you're never too old and you're never done, because life always presents situations just when you think you have it just the way you want it. The complexity of something new comes to you, like you are now faced with an earthquake and the results of the earthquake. Well, maybe you had earthquake preparation, but it's nothing like the real thing when it happens.
Thank you. I think these are so strong messages. It is so important for us to know when to use habits of mind and when not to use habits of mind. And it's impossible maybe sometimes to use the habits of mind that you want to use, but we are remaining open to continuous learning with a growth mindset. I think these messages are very strong for all of us and for all educators and students. I'm wondering if there are schools that have been around the world that have been using habits of mind. And if you can tell us a little bit about the schools that are using habits of mind, and if they are using habits of mind in combination of, I don't know, other frameworks, or if they are using some curriculum standards and habits of mind. And do you see the schools are succeeding, and what are your observations?
Well, we see schools all around the world. In fact, we have somebody who's present right now at this meeting who is in a school that's been using habits of mind for many, many years. Nick Brusky is here, and he's in a certified school, Montecito School in California, where they've been using it. And, we have certified schools from around the world, and that is really, some of the people are in the book because they've really representing the practices of what it means to take it in depth. For example, I know that Priscilla Torres is in the book, and she's talking about the work that she's doing in Brazil with the habits of mind. Yes. So there's the whole idea when we talk about the whole school as a culture, what we're talking about is that the more everyone is really envisioning and living and being engaged with the habits of mind, the more likely it is that it will grow, because it grows to the parents, it grows to the community, it just grows. So I think that is probably, I'm not sure what else you were thinking about us talking about.